Okay, guys, let's see how we can implement event-driven architecture to our Node.js Express-driven application. All we need to do is to install Kafka.js, which is used as a platform to stream events. And of course, when it's installed, to configure it, so we are creating a new instance of the Kafka class, and we are providing client ID and a broker, which is the engine that will run on localhost on this port. We have also modified our Docker compose, and we have two new services, Zookeeper and Kafka. And as you can see, they're exposing certain ports and communicating between each other. As you can see here, we have only one Kafka broker, and it has a broker ID of 1. The moment we want to scale the whole approach, we just need to have another instance of this Kafka service, and of course to have another broker ID and another name. So inside of the broker, we are keeping our topics that we are going to communicate with. And we can see in our, let's say, server.js, we see that we are specifying here the broker that we are going to consume or produce messages. So exactly here we can list several brokers and receive and produce messages to different brokers. In our setup, the API service is the producer and the DB service is the consumer of messages. So in the API service, we create one variable producer and we're connecting to it. And when everything is ready, so we're connected to the Kafka broker, we are ready to use this variable, and whenever we are hit with a post towards /API items, we are using the send function, which will send a message to a specific topic. So the topic is create item here, and basically that's all the work we need to do, just to send messages. Afterwards, they'll be handled by the broker, and whoever listens to this topic can respond to those messages. So if we go to the DB service and the server, we see how it is set up. We have one consumer, and we are subscribing exactly for the same topic, create item. With consumer variable, the moment we receive a message, and as you can see here in the destructuring, we can grab the topic, partition, and the message from the information that is sent to the broker. So the message, we already know what it is. Messages are grouped into a topic, and the usage of partitions is done in order to be able to have parallel processing of multiple topics. So here, actually, for each of the message received, we would like just to parse the message and to insert into my collection one record. So let's try running the whole setup. So with podman compose up and then build, we should be able to run all the described containers inside of Docker compose. All right, so we have our setup running. Now in another terminal, we will send some dummy data towards our API service server.js. So we'll run this curl request, and we see that the status that we're receiving is that the message is sent to the queue. Let's go and check the output from our podman log. So here the API service is responding with creating new item, which is exactly this row 33. This means that we have received data to our API URL and we're processing it, and we are using producer to send a topic and a message to DB service that is listening to this create item topic. Later, you'll see that the DB service is outputting inserted document and is returning the new object ID of the document. This means that once we are subscribed to the create item in a DB service, we have received a message, and after parsing the message, we are inserting one document inside of my collection. And then we have inserted document, the message that we see here. So that's basically how we can use the event-driven architecture in our Node.js applications. We are external message broker. If you're running the whole setup under Docker, in order to make everything distributed, you need a Docker swarm. A podman, in this case, is quite easy to be set up. No need other software. And of course, you can transfer the whole setup to Kubernetes and have distributed services, deployments, which will automatically scale based on the configuration provided. Thank you for watching this tutorial. If you have enjoyed the information, you can subscribe to the channel.